So a brand new game-breaking bug has just hit Bloons TD6. This was actually supposed to be, I guess, some sort of a bug fix slash quality of life change where the projectiles from the Mermonkey can actually re-hit their targets. But what ended up happening, and as far as I understand, NinjaQ is treating this as a bug. Now this does insane amounts of damage because the projectiles just keep re-hitting the same target. So let me show you guys. I'm going to use the Arctic Knight ability, which is basically the thing that's kind of broken. And what happens with these projectiles is that they just keep hitting the same target over and over again, and they do insane amounts of damage. So the pops are at 170,000, and the RB of round 98 is just over 300k. So with just one single ability, we deleted half of the most difficult round in BT6. I'm actually going to do the same thing. I'm going to refresh the ability and look at what it does to these insane ZOMGs from round 98. This is crazy how busted it is. Now obviously you have to play it on the correct map so that you can get the max out of this, so let's actually try it on Cornfield. I know that it might not sound like anything special, but trust me, this is actually game breaking. Like, this is crazy good. This shouldn't be happening, guys. A single tier 4 ability, especially that cheap like the Arctic Knight, which costs, how much does the Arctic Knight actually cost? Let me just check. It's like 8.6k, and then if you combine all of these other upgrades, maybe like 11k in total. So obviously we're playing Cornfield. We are not going to be removing any of these obstacles because that is how we want to maximize this bug, and it's going to be a very interesting game. I mean, I'm not sure if we're going to be going for like saving the most amount of money or how this whole thing is going to work out, but I'm super excited because it's been a while since we had a bug this crazy in BT6. So we're going to be running Geraldo for one specific reason. It's the rejuffs. We're going to be able to refresh the ability whenever necessary. The cooldown, and I guess with the uptime, with the bounce of all these RT9 projectiles, as you guys saw in the sandbox thing I showed you, the uptime is still very high, the damage is still very high, but I just want to have him here as a safety net. And yeah, we're gonna need the Millipede Village, by the way, because if you guys noticed, we cannot pop these zebras and the white Bloons in general with the Mermonkey. So yeah, honestly, the early game is gonna be pretty straightforward. I don't think there are gonna be any things that are gonna surprise us, so we're gonna go for the top hat. So we're going for something like this, 220. We're gonna get the Riptide Champion, which is pretty cheap actually. Nowadays it's only $2,000. I think there was some change happening in the last update, if I'm not mistaken, making this thing cheaper, and then they also made it a lot stronger. No, it was actually this one. They reduced the price and they buffed the pierce onto this thing. Yup, things are gonna get insane very quickly. It's only like an $8,500 tower for the Arctic Knight, so it's not like you have to wait until you can get this set up online. I mean, bam, there we go. We have the Riptide Champion. And now, honestly, if we don't have to buy anything else, we might be able to get this thing before round 40, which is just gonna be absolutely nuts. By the way, we might run into some trouble on this one. This is round 32, so we're gonna have purples on it, so we cannot pop purples. And let's see how it goes. So we're gonna have, oh, we're not actually popping them with the NG, it seems like. Alright, so that's a little bit of a problem. Okay, let's try and snipe the purples with the nails from Geraldo, because I don't think there's anything that we can do until we get the Midpath Village eventually. So I think, yeah, the NG is gonna get these guys, and then how is it? I'm just gonna place one more set of root spikes, and I think, yeah, that was fine for round 32. Alright, so let's see how everything is looking. There are gonna be some white Bloons in this one. Oh, we seem to be leaking. That's only a blue Bloon, which we can tank with the root spikes that we have. Now we're gonna have to place one more set. Yeah, this is just not holding out. I mean, this is a greedy setup, to be fair. We're only defending with this guy's our main source of DPS, like a 230 Mermonkey. Alright, some more Bloons incoming, and by the way, a bunch of zebras. Are we holding out 37? I don't think we are, actually. So yeah, the time has come that we actually have to buy a serious defensive tower, or not. Let's actually try and patch things up with these guys, Geraldo's turrets. So I'm gonna place a couple of them here on the side. Their footprint is super small, by the way, so you can do this. Let's place 3, set them all on last. Actually have this guy on first, because why not? And now when this wave of lead Bloons and zebras comes in, let's see if we can defend it. I mean, we could also go for an alchemist or something like that. We can do some layer skips and just some extra damage, but how is, yeah, this is a lot better than last time. I think we're actually holding. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. We have to give the cow potion to Jerry really quickly, so we pop the white layer. Oh my god, that was clutch. Yeah, seriously, just making some huge sacrifices in order to make the Arctic Knight happen as soon as possible, but I think it's gonna happen on this round. So 39 makes a lot of cash, and I think we're just gonna be at about the 8.6k threshold, if not a little bit more actually before the round is done. Yeah, there we go. Let me just buy it. There we go. Still cannot pop, by the way, zebras, purples, and everything. And there's like, oh, there's one blue Bloon on the other side, and we have to drop another set of rose spikes. That's fine. Alright, so in comes the Moab, and are we gonna have our first ability? Look at what it does. I'm gonna dump it. Look at how everything is balancing. That is so cool, actually. And they remain on the screen for so long that they even go through rounds. So this is just going to be doing huge amounts of damage. That is nuts how good this thing is now. All right, we might have a little bit of a problem with camo detection, by the way, because no Jerry's potions. Oh my god, and they expired on both of them. So we have to do, I mean, I don't mind doing this, actually. Let's get the foam, because we're going to be buying the overclock anyways. Oh my god, we're patching things up in this run left and right. Yeah, rushing this Arctic Knight was maybe a bad idea, but I think we're slowly getting away with it. Let's dump the ability again, because I see some ceramics on this one, and yeah, there we go. That's about it. I mean, obviously zebras are a huge problem. We're gonna solve that in a second. Now the Arctic Knight can defend these ceramics without even having to use the ability, which is not something that we could have done for round 43 basically. So I think we're kind of slowly starting to stabilize. Let me get the jungle jumps as well. And honestly, guys, that's it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you buy the absolute zero I would buy as a stalling tower, and then you just get this guy, the MIB, and you pretty much win the game. So I'm gonna dump this thing. I'm gonna dump the ability. Look at how insane it is, by the way. That's the entirety of round 49. A bunch of zebras, that's the only thing that's left over. But I'm gonna rush the MIB. This is gonna be a huge buy for the early game, but I think we can afford it. Actually, let's see if we can pop Mob Cloud Bloons without the ability. That is gonna be a very important thing, because we don't want to be relying on it fully, and we seem to be doing so. That's great. Alright, so 4-2-0 on the Alchemist. The stronger stim is up and running. Let me dump the ability then, and this is gonna carry over to 53. Look at how insane it is. Oh my god. This is just so crazy, because you think it's so good versus around like 52, but it just, they remain on screen for so long, and they just keep re-hitting and bouncing on the same target, that we actually haven't seen anything. Like, this is not even impressive what we're currently seeing in the 50s. Yeah, so 56 pretty much a sleeper round. I mean, just a bunch of camo rainbows in a Moab. But 57, I'm gonna dump the ability. It's 2x2 Moabs, and it's gonna wipe both pairs. So go like this. This is pair number 1 just getting destroyed. And watch what's happening up top. Oh my god, these balls just bouncing around, man. It just keeps re-hitting the same target. That is just not supposed to be happening, guys. Alright, so round 16, the BFV. Here's what I want to do. This thing is nowhere near our defensive towers, but if I just dump the ability and somehow some of these balls make their way up to it, it's gonna fully pop it. That is crazy. Look at where they pop it. Alright, so we do have the overclock ready. I overclocked this guy. This is gonna be full uptime, by the way, because it's a tier 4 tower, so we don't have to worry about it. And then let's see how we do versus these 45 Moabs, and think about how we want to solve round 63, because it's only gonna be one ability, I'm pretty sure. I mean, do we even need to use the ability? Let me just see how this thing goes. I hope not, but we just likely will, just because it's fun. Okay, so let's use it on the second wave of ceramics, and let's wait for these guys to come out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I guess, are they gonna remain on screen for the third wave? I don't think so, no. Yeah, I just don't want to be relying on the ability for stuff like this, but that's why we got Geraldo and the Regifs. Oh, wait a minute, that is a... Oh, the road spikes from Geraldo. Yeah, we just gotta protect the exits somehow, huh? So how about, what, a permaspike here? And I think you can fit a permaspike over here in this secret spot. Yeah, you guys know what? I can't find it. So I think this ability is so OP that we can obviously survive without it. So we're just gonna do it like that. Let's buy the call to arms, by the way, because it's around 73. I mean, there's nothing to spend money on. The setup is just so insane by itself. Not even sure like you need the call to arms in this thing, but we're gonna get it anyway. So let's just dump the ability for fun, I guess. And yeah, honestly, I think we're done. I think the setup is actually done. Like, I mean, we're gonna save a lot of money, and if we need to buy something, we will, but if we're playing off of the abilities, I do have an idea for something funny, actually, which I'm not sure if we can fit all those guys. By the way, use the ability, around 75, just getting evaporated, as you guys can see. But I do have a funny idea, which I'm not sure if we want to do. We might do it just for fun, and that is buying another Murmurky like this, and then getting the Lord of the Abyss, and then buying an Energizer sub over here. Oh, wait a minute, are we defending this? Yeah, we are barely. Yeah, but I wanted to buy an Energizer sub actually over here so that we reduce the cooldowns a little bit and we don't rely on the Regif as much. Yeah, that is something that you would call a first world problem, by the way. But yeah, it's just when you have bugs like this thing happening, yeah, that's one of the ways that the game is gonna go, right? But I do want to save a little bit of space and a little bit of cash in case we need to intervene with something. Alright, so 81, the ability is coming off of cooldown in a second, so let's combine everything. This is gonna be super funny because this is free play. These are the serious rounds, so let's go like this. Dump the ability, and there goes round 81, and actually half of 82, it seems like. The good thing is that these Bloons, just slowing the way this map works, is that it takes a while until they can reach your mer monkeys. So you have a little bit of time for the cooldown to come out. This is the perfect map, actually. Let's use the ability again, just speed everything up. Come on, guys, how is this fair? All right, there might be a little bit of a problem when there's downtime with the ability, so let's overclock. I mean, it's up and running again. Let's actually try and save it for 83, which we are going to be able to do it, and then dump it on 84, because 84 is going to have a bunch of blue mobs and BFBs behind them. Yeah, just like this. So we're going to have to dump the ability, actually. I just want to wait till... Oh, never mind. There's no waiting, because these moves are making it super far, but we did combine it with the call to arms and the overclock, and there goes round 84, right? Guys, this is absolutely nuts, and I'm actually going to do the thing. I'm going to try and buy the Lord of the Abyss and then buy an Energizer sub over here in this tight little spot. Let's see if we can make it happen. There goes the Lord of the Abyss, and there is there space? Yes, there is. Oh my god. Okay, we might have a little bit of a problem, because if this setup doesn't work, I don't think there's a way we can just intervene with the tower. I mean, maybe we can have like one over here in this little spot, but that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so this setup has to work or else. This is a huge risk. We're riding the entire game onto this one crazy little bug, so let's see if we can pull it off in the 90s. As the ability, see if the balls are going to remain on the field for the DETs. It doesn't look like it, actually. Alright, so there's going to be downtime, but we have the call to arms, so hopefully we can just attack them like this. Alright, is this going to be a problem? Okay, it's not, but that was only round 90. We have to be very careful with the DETs, it seems like. So 91, just dump the ability, erase all of these BFBs, and a little bit of the next round, which is going to have 45 Moabs with ZMGs behind them. Yeah, the 45 Moabs might be a problem. It's not that they're 45 or anything, it's just that they are Moabs and they're fast. And so they kind of come very fast into the range of the Arctic Knight, and the ability is usually on a downtime. If there are ZMGs or BFBs, they take a little bit of a while, and that's, well, exactly what you want to see, but not this time around. So I think we are... So if we dump the ability now, it's going to wipe all the ZMGs, and we're not going to have it for 93 in the DDTs. Yeah, I don't know. Do we just try and defeat these guys with the normal auto attacks? I don't think that's happening. I'm going to dump... Yeah, let's dump the overclock plus the Arctic Knight ability, and then let's try and save the call to arms. Let's see if we're going to need the ability for this one. If not, we're going to use a rejuve, which I don't exactly want to do, but sure, we will if necessary. This is only getting around 93, so we might... Yeah, there we go. We survived the ones in 93, but 95 is really not looking good if things continue like this. We have the money for the Energizer, by the way, so I'm going to buy it. There goes a cooldown reduction on basically every single ability that we have, and it might be a good idea that we keep doing abilities, maybe like the Sabo Ninja to slow everyone down. I think that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, let's go like this. Let's have a Sabo Ninja. This is going to be the absolute last tower, so if we fail, oh, that's going to be the worst throw ever, but I don't think we will. Let's overclock. Let's dump the ability. Round 94. Look at how OP this thing is. I mean, come on, guys. This is not even funny. This is 94. It's gone. That's it. That's all you need. One click of a button. So what a stupid and impossible setup that we currently have running. I mean, I have an Energizer sub in the Lord of the Abyss to buff the cooldown of an Arctic Knight. How crazy is that? And look at how much damage the ability does. Is it gonna last through 95 though? Oh, wait a minute. We might have to redo this one. How many DTs left? Oh, that's a lot of DTs though. We're gonna have to redo this one. Alright, so overclock, and then as soon as the DTs appear, use the Sabo, and then wait a little bit before dumping all the other abilities. So let's get a couple of DTs pop with the normal auto attacks, and let's use the ability. I mean, I'm trying to be really patient and watching the Sabo uptime, and let's use it now. Yeah, the Sabo ended, so I think it's the right time for the ability, and hopefully these balls last long enough. There we go. They're actually gonna continue to 96 a little bit. That's great. Alright, so it's just a little bit of timing, it seems like. So we need the Energizer sub actually to come into action right now, because everything that we have is on cooldown, and I see some blue Moab. So the first thing coming out is the Sabo, which I'm gonna dump, and then we have the Arctic Knight race. So let's just use the Arctic Knight ability, wipe all the BFBs, and then we're gonna have one more round of abilities for the ZMGs at the back. Yeah, just like that. So I think I don't mind using the call to arms plus the Arctic Knight ability, because 97 is gonna be a slow round to just like 245 ZMGs. Let's dump only the Arctic Knight ability for this one, because we know for a fact it's gonna be more than enough. And then 98, here comes the big one. Alright, so for this one, let's actually wait the initial cooldown on the Arctic Knight, and then if necessary, we're gonna use the Regia from Geraldo. But honestly, I don't want to do that. I want to wait for the entirety of the round to come out, and I just want to wipe everything with one single ability. So let's see if we can make that thing happen. It's still coming out. Okay, there we go. It's out. So wait for the overclock, call to arms, use the Arctic Knight ability, and is this gonna wipe 300,000 worth of arms? Oh my god, this is insane. And it's going into 99, which is the craziest thing ever, but we're gonna have to use the rejuve because it's gonna end in a second. We're gonna need it for the DDs. What is even happening? How is this illegal, guys? guys, what is this crazy bug currently happening in BT6? One single button, 1.8 million pops onto this guy. We have one more rejuve. I don't think we're gonna need it, so let's go like this. Call to arms, dump the ability. How fast is this thing gonna evaporate? It's gonna be in a second, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Do we need to use another one, by the way? I'm just gonna use the rejuve in case we need to dump one more ability, but it doesn't seem like we will. That is just so crazy. What an absolutely game-breaking bug we currently have in BT6. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.